So I've read a lot of posts from you guys, and yeah, I can find some things like in my personality that is often restricted or not expressed when I am using or talking in English. For example, like myself, like I used to tend to have some like speak some jokes between like conversation with other people, but when I am talking with Americans in English, like I've hardly find myself like talking jokes as much as I do when I talk to my Korean friends or people from other countries whose native language is not English. And I think it is not because it's not about like whether you are fluent in English or not, but I think it is whether you find yourself uncomfortable or comfortable between those people. Because and like the other people, like I find myself much comfortable when I'm talking to the people who is in the same situation like me, because the people whose native language is not English, like maybe it's only my case, but anyway, so they used to perceive the English. When they listen the English phrases, they recognize the word. They just pick a word and rearrange it so they can understand the whole phrases. So for them, or like me, for us, the English is kind of tool to communicate with each other. That makes us to be tolerant to the like grammatical errors or pronunciational errors, because it is just a tool, and what is really important is the message included in there. But when I'm speaking to the Americans whose native tongue is English, well, in my experience and in my own perspective, I think they perceive the English phrases as it is. So if they find something wrong or grammatical errors, this sort of miscellaneous error, no matter how small it is, they just perceive the error, and the error becomes the, what can I say, one of the factor that determines what is people talking. And I'm not saying that they're just, I don't know, ignoring the people who make just some of the mistakes. No, not at all. But since they were born and raised in and surrounded and all those English things, they're just more sensitive, and they tend to recognize easily those kind of faults from the other people. And I know myself that I do have some mistakes, and this kind of feeling or estimation make myself to be like smaller or restricted especially when I'm talking to the people whose native language is English. And this is kind of, well, other side. Among a lot of words in English, the word that I hate most is the word excuse me or I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not talking about the word itself, but when they use the word, it means that they don't understand what I'm talking about, and they're asking they use the word to ask me to speak out one more time. But like, the word just makes myself like, what can I say, shrink. It just feels like there's something wrong to them or something like that. It just feels like I'm the main reason why making them like, don't understand the situation. So yeah, the kind of thing, or the kind of uncomfortableness, or maybe the concerns, they're the main factors which makes non-native speakers to feel uncomfortable, and they restricting themselves in the language, those huge boundaries.